While there are a lot of songs in K-pop that aim to provide comfort to their listeners, the two we're talking about today are a little bit different. We are, of course, talking about BTS's Magic Shop and Ateez's Castle. Welcome back to Song Siblings, the series where I look at the imagery and themes of connected songs. The goal of both of these songs is very clearly to bring comfort to their listeners. Both of the songs spend time acknowledging the difficulties that their listeners might feel. In Castle, we see Ateez being almost pained over the stresses and sadnesses of their listeners. And in Magic Shop, we see BTS explaining how over time their goals changed from personal ambition to having a meaningful impact on their fans. Both songs' explicit stated purpose is to provide comfort. Both songs also focus on a nighttime setting, in particular one that involves looking at the sky. We see that in the chorus of both songs. In Magic Shop, we're encouraged to take a moment of reflection and look at the night sky, whereas in Castle, the nighttime is the time for our escape. Both songs even include the same beautiful and specific image of stars embroidering a nighttime sky. For RM, he encourages his fans to find their own uniqueness and bring that to light. In Hongjoong's line, the star is himself or his words, which he sends out to fans to provide inspiration and guidance. And as Mingy's outro suggests, the sky also has connotations of escape and freedom. So by setting their songs at night, under a starlit sky, both groups are suggesting a moment of privacy, maybe even secrecy, and reflection, as well as the promise of beauty and hope or escape for the future. Like I mentioned before, there are lots of comfort songs in K-pop, but what makes Magic Shop and Castle special and most connected to each other is that both songs create an imaginary space for fans to reflect and escape. In BTS's song, of course, this space is the Magic Shop. And this title actually refers to a psychodramatic technique, essentially a method in psychology where you can imagine your way to a better mindset. So here, through the mechanism of the song, BTS is encouraging their listeners to take a moment of reflection and move themselves from fear to hope. In Ateez's song, the space they create is the mental idea of a castle, a refuge. And of course, a castle was chosen for its connotations of strength and protection. Both of these songs provide not just words of comfort, but a safe space, a musical haven. Castle and Magic Shop have the same goal, the same method, and very similar imagery. The songs do have some significant differences, however, and these differences provide us with insight into the mindset of the groups themselves. While both BTS and Ateez create a mental refuge for their listeners, the way they think of their listeners' pain and the way they respond to it are quite different. In Magic Shop, BTS is very clear that the way they can provide comfort, the way they can show their empathy for their listeners is by telling their own experiences. And this is something that BTS does a lot in their songs. I actually think it is one of their great strengths. BTS telling us their own experiences provides comfort because we feel better when we know that we are not the only people who have struggled. It also provides a model for us. If they can persevere and succeed even through their difficult times, then we can do the same. BTS shows us that we're not alone in our pain because they've been there too. In Magic Shop, the pain and difficulty that BTS sees in their listeners and in themselves seems to be mostly internal or brought upon by themselves. Suga's lines talks about the pressure he put on himself and the way that comparison to others injured him. The song imagines the listener's anxiety and regret over their words or mistakes. So the song frames a lot of this pain as essentially self-inflicted. And going along with that, the song also shows us that the solution to this pain comes from ourselves as well. By sharing their story, BTS showed us how they persevered and succeeded, and they see the same thing as possible for their listeners. This makes perfect sense with the title of the song, which, as I mentioned, is an actual psychological technique that allows people to change their fears into hopes. So Magic Shop is telling its listeners that just like BTS, you have control over your own story. BTS knows how much love and support fans pour into them, and they want those fans to take just as good a care of themselves as they do BTS. Again, the message of the song is that you can provide your own answers and support for yourself. The song is merely a vehicle to get you there. BTS is showing listeners their story, offering them comfort in exchange to the support and comfort that they themselves have already received. It's a beautiful display of gratitude and encouragement for others to find their own answers. Unlike in Magic Shop, in Castle, Ateez view most of the problems facing their listeners as external problems. In the first verse, the pain that has them worried is coming from the outside world. Descriptions of internal pressure and anxiety are definitely present in the song, particularly in Mingi's part of the second verse. However, it's the outside world that the chorus wants us to escape from. It's the outside world that the bridge is consoling us against. And this explains why a castle is the place chosen as the focus of the song. A castle is a place that is specifically designed to resist attacks from the outside. And this idea is reinforced in Hongjoong's line where he refers to the song as their refuge or shelter. It's not just a place of connection, but it's also one of safety. Since Ateez views most of the problems coming from the outside world, Castle provides a different type of comfort than we saw in Magic Shop. Ateez does not share much about their own stories or experiences. In fact, they're not even seeking to know what their listeners' experiences are. There's a sense in the song that you may not be able to articulate, or you may not want to articulate what is so difficult for you. But that doesn't mean you're not worthy of comfort. We saw in Magic Shop BTS's view that the answers to your problems are already within yourself. Castle, on the other hand, suggests there may not be an answer to some things. We see in the bridge, the world keeps spinning, not everything has a reason. While this might be somewhat bleak, it can also be comforting to know that you don't have to explain everything. Castle suggests that there is no magic solution to life's difficulties, that there are some things that can't be changed or understood, but they still can be survived. I do think it's worth noting we have had a global pandemic, a number of international wars and conflicts, as well as economic troubles and the growth of extreme political movements. I think all of that affects the message of the song. The world today in 2025 maybe feels less explainable, more overwhelming. So we see that reflected in Castle's message. While they provide no answers, Ateez notice and acknowledge the pain and struggles of their listeners, and they offer themselves as companions against the loneliness, a bulwark against the difficulties of life. In this way, the song itself becomes a momentary escape from the difficulties of life. Both Magic Shop and Castle invite us to this imaginary place where we can get relief from our difficulties. BTS viewing themselves more as storytellers and Ateez more as protectors. Magic Shop encourages us to take care of ourselves, and Castle tells us that there is somebody else who cares for us. Both of these are incredibly important messages for everyone to hear sometimes. So, whenever we need it, we can open that door in our heart, run away to the castle in our mind, and find that very special space that these groups have made for us.